Sometimes I look at my legs without the hair on them, and I'm like, man, did I get burned at some point and just like not remember it, or like it's like sleeping at night, just like.
It's just like your dad comes in every night and just like plucks one hair and leaves.
A candy-colored clown they call the Sandman tiptoes to my room every night.
Yeah, I'm sure my dad does not know that song.
Your dad's just a David Lynch character. Baby wants to fuck.
It's one of those. It's gonna be a weird episode for me, man, because I sat in that room for 2 weeks and did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have like my contact. Like I was like, well, I'm not doing the political podcast, so I stopped looking into politics for the week, and so I have none of that. I've got none of it going on. I played video games and I looked at crypto coins and like I looked into investing again and that whole thing, and so I looked all at that, and like that's all that's on my mind right now is like understanding what Algorand is and why it's great that it solved the cryptocurrency trilemma, and hopefully that means potential adoption into the future at 6% APY.
This all sounds like Dune stuff.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
spice. He who controls the spice controls the crypto market.
But yeah, no, like I've been just watching all that shit and like talking to old, like I've been talking about cryptocurrency so much on Reddit. I had a guy message me the other day asking me for advice. I was like, that's the first time. I was telling my buddy Nabil, I was like, it gives me kind of imposter syndrome. I'm like, do I know what I'm talking about?
I don't think it matters because you can create a cottage industry on giving people advice, good or bad.
Well, yeah, dude, it'd be great
Speak
to
with
be
authority.
an investment firm for cryptocurrency, but you need a shit ton of money
Yeah.
to do something like that. It's like first you have to do it yourself, and then you have to be one of the main backers. You know,
Yeah. You can't be showing up in a tie-dyed T-shirt being like, "Hey, man."
I can't look at everyone and be like, listen, I took $2,000 and made it into $4,000 in the crypto market, so why don't you give me $4.5 million? I'm going to throw it all into a coin called Civic that doesn't technically do anything yet. It's $30 a coin, though. Think how many you can get for $4 million.
Do you do anything with Bitcoin at this point, or do you just like kind of hoard it like a goblin? Like
I mean,
Smaug?
here's what's going to happen, dude. There's going to be this whole future with decentralized finance, like in the way that like the dollar interacts with the yen, which interacts with the euro, which interacts with, you know, the fucking, what's it in Thailand down there with fucking Prim? The bot. And instead it's going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum and all of these other little coins in like this, you know, nebulous universe where a coin might be really big in America and there might be a really big coin in Africa. A lot of these coins are set to look at places like Africa that go, you don't really have a structured financial system. But what if we started you on a system that's better than what they're doing in the West? You know, like if they could give up the centralized finance system, they would go into what's known as the DeFi world, the decentralized finance world. They would start building like this. It's way more open. It's way more transparent. It's less corrupt. It's harder to take advantage of. And it's going to be really, really great for the people and not necessarily the institution. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it's really, really great for you to adopt. And it has all these other varying, you know, things you can do with it. The weird thing about cryptocurrency, like back in the day, if you needed funding for a project, like you would have to, you know, issue stock shares and do all of that. Now you can get funded through crypto coins. Like you can go to a site like Polkadot and learn about what the substrate is and learn about what technology you need to become useful to that project and go, I think I have a project that I could build with this technology that'll be beneficial to you, but I'm going to need like $200,000 to make it happen. And they'll go, we'll all vote on it as a governless system. And everybody goes, yeah, you know, well, I'll vote. And if there's enough money, they just fund that shit. And boom, you have $200,000 in your bank account to do your fucking project. Whether it's, you know, to create a new coin that does some specific thing on the system or to create some sort of security features, or whether, you know, you want to make some sort of connection between this coin and the fucking NBA. Like, it's weird, dude. I just started looking into like online art and the sale of online art. You should really look into that shit, man.
Well, getting paid in Bitcoin for art?
Be getting paid mostly in Ethereum.
See, but like, what's backing any of this stuff? Where can I? Questions. What's backing Bitcoin? Where can I use Bitcoin?
Okay. my alternative question to your first question, like my answer to your first question is an alternative question, which is what backs the dollar?
I knew the second I said it that that's what you were going to say.
Yeah.
Which is like fair, but I guess it dovetails with
Use
my second
and
question
adoption.
is like, where do I use it?
You can use it anywhere. I mean, like there are places online. Bitcoin is becoming as good as gold. Like anything that uses PayPal uses Bitcoin now, pretty much. I'm pretty sure you can send Bitcoin to your PayPal wallet and use it like currency. It depends on the places that accept it. That's the thing. And I feel like you're going to start seeing institutions accept it more now that like it's hard to say. Like I don't think Bitcoin's ever going to become that real of a thing. Like I think what's going to happen in the future is that there's going to be companies accepting things like Ethereum, or probably not Ethereum either, but like one of these coins down the road that's going to be much more stable. You know what I mean? Because you look at Bitcoin, it's like right now it's $46,000. Tomorrow it's $56,000. The next day it's $30,000. And again, it's a little less fluctuating than that, but you get what I'm saying. Like you can lose thousands of dollars just depending on when you bought it. Or you can gain $1,000 depending on when you bought it. And because of that, it's only going to be a storage of value. Like that's all Bitcoin's ever going to be. It's a holding of value. It's going to be the internet's gold. Like I see Bitcoin is gold, Ethereum is silver, Litecoin's going to be bronze, and then there's going to be all of these other coins that are going to sort of attach themselves to one of those three coins and become part of their orbit, so to speak. You know what I mean?
What if I'm only willfully interested in Dogecoin? What's that, 10?
Dogecoin is like, yeah, man. Dogecoin is actually surprisingly a very, very solid architecture. It's built on the same architecture that Bitcoin's built off of, except all of it was issued all at once. Like, so instead of having to mine it or any of that shit, it's just there.
I just like it because there's a dog, like a meme dog on the money.
Yeah.
And that
Shinu, Iba. And the thing about it, though, that's
Shiba Inu.
Shiba Inu, Shinu, Iba. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean.
The girl from Ipanema?
Yes. The girl from Shibu Ina. The weird thing about it, dude, is like, it's going to hit like $100,000 probably before the end of the year, I think.
Dogecoin is?
No. Dogecoin will never hit. Like, if Dogecoin hits more than like $2, I'll shit my pants. And the reason is
I'll remember you said that.
dude, is the correlation between circulating volume of coin and market cap, right? So the market cap obviously being the amount of total value expressed, say, in US dollars that there is in that particular coin. So like Bitcoin currently has a market cap of somewhere close to $1 trillion. There's $1 trillion invested into Bitcoin, which is why everyone always argues like, one day it could be worth nothing, but it's a damn long way away from there. And because it has almost $1 trillion market cap at 18 or 19 million coins, that's why it has a valuation of $56,000 a coin, basically, right? With Dogecoin, there's literally billions of them, hundreds of billions of Dogecoin. So compare the hundreds of billions of Dogecoin to the 18 million Bitcoin. It's so much more diluted, that pool, that it will never, ever, 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 ever be worth the same amount.
Because De Beers just let all the diamonds out at once, basically.
Yes, exactly. If you were to have a same market cap that Bitcoin was to Dogecoin, if Dogecoin had $1 trillion in it, it would still probably only be worth like $20. Like, again, it's what blew everybody's fucking mind at first was because the market cap was so small. That's why it exploded exponentially, right? It's huge. It got massive numbers, but it went from being worth like 0.003 of a cent to being worth actual cents. So if you bought 100,000 Dogecoin at 0.003 and then you sold it at 7 cents when it hit the top, you made a lot of money. Like me, I sold at the wrong time because I didn't know. Like, I'll shamefully admit it, dude. I had 60,000 Dogecoin or something, which again was like $200. I spent like $200 on it. And if I had sold like right now where it's at, if I just hold until now, not even at the peak, to wherever it is now, it'd have been like 20 grand. And I sold too early, and I ended up making like $150 off of it. I was like, oh, sweet. It was a good turnaround. Profit was profit. But if I had hold on, thinking that it wasn't just a quick pump and dump scheme, that for some fucking magical reason people were going to hold on to him this time, I would have made a fuck ton of money.
Yeah. That stripper really likes me. It's not just the money I'm giving her. This time it's real.
Well, that's why, like, at this point now, dude, I'm long on everything. I just bought like $2,500 worth of crypto, and I'm just leaving it. I only bought like $40 worth of Bitcoin. I only bought like $40 worth of Ethereum. I still have my 0.15 Bitcoin. It's worth like $8,000 now, which is pretty great. But then I bought like 1,000 of this coin Algorand, and I bought 1,000 Cardano, and I bought a blah, blah, blah. I talked to my buddy in Australia who has access to different like exchanges that I can't access because we're in America, and I had him buy some stuff called ChainX, which connects this network called Polkadot to the Bitcoin universe. But there's only like a couple million of them. So if they become worth anything, 50 of them, hopefully, will allow me to retire.
But here's the other wrinkle in this whole thing. I cannot imagine that the governments of the world are pleased.
Lying down with something that's going to destroy them?
Yeah.
No, they're not. That's why the SEC is discussing Ripple right now.
So Ripple is what?
Ripple is another coin, but it's different than all these other coins in the sense it was basically made for banks by bankers. I mean, I don't think these guys were bankers who made it. That's nonsense. But it was like it's a centralized cryptocurrency. So it's already kind of oxymoronic in the world of decentralized finance and all these other coins, which are meant to get you away from that market. But what they're made for is to be incredibly quick transactions. And they work in a reverse inflationary way, which means that every time you send Ripple, like if I send some to you, some of it gets sent to a wallet, like as just like the fee for transaction, and that is gone forever. So the longer and more time people use Ripple, the less there are in the pool, and the more valuable it all becomes in a reverse inflationary way. But it's really just made for incredibly fast transactions. Like if I sent you from my computer Ripple to you, it takes like 0.2 seconds. It's an incredibly fast transaction speed, which is what's beneficial for banks who would otherwise have to go and wire the money or go to Western Union. Like if you and me want to send money to our buddy in Ireland and have it transferred into the local currency, we send $150. By the time it gets to him, it might not be worth more than, 100, 110, 120. Like they're going to take fees along the way. We convert it into Ripple and send it to him. We're losing cents instead. And it's getting there quicker. And we're leaving the financial world out of the equation. And that's why they're afraid of it. Because basically what they're arguing is that this is drug dealers. Drug dealers are using it. Drug dealers are going to use this stuff to send money to each other that we don't know. It's going to be a money laundering thing and blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, potentially, yeah. Potentially all of this stuff can be used for all of those things. But the sad part about it is it's still a better system than the current financial system we have. It's just way better. It's way more efficient. It's way more transparent in a lot of ways. We just can't figure out necessarily how to let go of traditional currency because, again, people have billions and billions and billions. So one day the dollar falls, which is going to happen probably in the next 10 to 20 years. Like the U.S. dollar is not going to be the big fucking thing anymore.
Well, dude, you can't even get boomers to try to use a fucking iPad. Like
they're confused as shit.
Working at the front desk. People who are like 60 years old, you hand them the iPad and go update your health history, and they look at you like you just asked if you could fuck their children.
Like how am I supposed to do that right here? Well, and the thing is, like I went to urgent care the other day, and they had it set up, and it was clearly like the IT was set up by someone our age, and it was being managed by someone that was a boomer because they're like, yeah, it's on your phone now. I'm like, okay, great. Why can't we connect to the Wi-Fi here? Like, I don't necessarily have service here. It was for fucking rapid testing for COVID too. Yeah. So like you would expect them. I'm all right, by the way, guys. You'd expect them to do something about it. But no, like you're like, oh yeah, no, it's gonna ask you to connect, and like you're just gonna have to reject it, then try again. Like it was one of those things where like it was bugged.
Did you try jiggling it? Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm just trying to get in there because one of my parents is irresponsible.
But think about the life that these boomers would have if they would just cede even a little bit of infrastructure control to generations beneath them who know how the Wi-Fi works.
Yeah.
Like, what a life to show up to a dentist's office and just refuse to do what you're asked. Can you please fill out a health history on the magic tablet? No. Well, we need it. Well, you're going to have to give me a printout then. Well, that creates an awful lot of effort for me. So, well, I don't care. Customer's always right.
Like, do you know what this is? This is a dentist's office,
like,
not
this
an
is
Arby's.
A Burger King. Yeah.
What the fuck is your problem?
Never once did I say you could have it your way.
Big man, what's going to happen if we start rejecting your patronage? Like, we don't want you to come here anymore. You're going to go find another dentist now.
But they'll always be
like, my tooth hurts.
Well, my health hasn't changed in the last 5 years. And I go, that's where you're wrong. because you need to put something down for the head wound I'm going to give you in 5 seconds with a stapler if you don't sit the fuck down and fill out the form.
Like, madam, you went from 55 to 60. Something happened.
From the looks of you, type 2 diabetes has marched
Something happened
on
to
the
you.
gates of your insulin.
Come on. I don't understand. Look, I'm fucking 32. From 30 to 32, I had medical shit happen. Like it's very easy to oh, I rolled my ankle.
Dude, my
Doesn't matter what it is.
neck is exploding out of my body.
Yeah.
I have like discs in my spine that are like, whoa.
So that's the warranty. Secretly, like if you die before age 30, whatever being, let's say it's God, he just like, do over, just shoot you back into a new body. But now the warranty's up and you start falling the fuck apart. And no, not my problem, man. He dusts off, grabs his cowboy hat, heads off.
Insurance don't cover that, man.
It's a weird God.
I got tickets to Skinner. They went to heaven?
No. That's why it's going to be a trip.
Yeah, I'm traveling for this one.
He sounds like that guy. Hello there, dude.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Warsh.
That's God. Sam Elliott is God.
Found deep in the woods of Colorado.
Well, are you sorry for what you did, Mr. Manson? What is sorry? Or are you going to hell?
That's an excellent point. I'd actually love it if God was dumb as fuck. You could just talk him into going to heaven. Hitler shows up and is just like, all right, look, I should be allowed to argue my case. I'll allow it.
I don't see why not.
I'm a fair man. No, you didn't. You flooded the world and said build a boat that fits every animal. In my defense, there weren't that many variations back then.
I mean, like, genetically, how did that work, though? Like,
You're asking an awful lot of questions. Were you a Biden voter?
Like, all right, the boat sank, okay? It sank, and then evolution had to take over.
Oh, man. Oh, God. I read something the other day. What was it? Oh, man. It was something so fascinating. It was like a group that was handing out pamphlets on evolution, like Darwinism, but they removed like key chapters of it. Fuck, what was it? It might have been Lauren Boebert, that crazy gun bitch from Colorado.
They just like to say that evolution didn't exist.
They were like trying to save enough credibility to be like, we're not out now. Creationism, that's a little silly.
Yeah,
We believe in Darwin, and it's like only the part where Darwin called like iguanas retarded or something like that. Like,
yeah, see, look at that. We agree with this part.
see? Things that aren't perfect don't deserve to live. Who has a problem with that?
Just a picture of a raccoon and an arrow and a man eating a burger on the other end. Like, see, look at that.
Evolution.
It's the circle of life.
I don't know.
Where'd he get that hat?
It is kind of ironic that people that believe in intelligent design are dumb as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
But they also believe in aliens sometimes.
yeah.
Like sometimes intelligent design. Like, I like the people who out crazy the crazies, where it's not intelligent design because of God, it's intelligent design because of the space people.
Oh, I'm
And you-
behind that.
Yeah, and you get them in a room together, and they're like, yeah, I'm just saying, there's a lot of holes in that theory. And you go, yeah, that's right. You're right, there is. Like the lizards. What? Yeah, like the lizard people who came down from the spaceship that's actually the moon that they're hiding inside, and they're, funneling our bad thoughts for fuel.
Yeah, it's
And
called the Vril conspiracy.
like, what? Yeah, just like what you were saying, intelligent design.
You just scared the shit out of them.
It's just we're here having this intelligent discussion on this flat Earth of ours.
Don't walk off the edge, Jethro.
You got to get through all of the American security. That's where the military is actually stationed. Is at the edge of the world.
Yeah.
Got to get over the ice mountains
Run towards it really fast.
so you can get on the other side and hang out with John Galt.
Oh,
all
God.
the other guys.
Oh my God! Speaking of MAGA Trumpansies, MAGAronis, have you been following this whole Gina Carano Mandalorian thing?
I've heard a little bit about that. Yeah,
What the fuck is going on?
Gina Carano just doesn't like. All right, you got to be understanding of what the context of which I say this, but Gina Carano just needed to shut the fuck up.
Well, what happened? I don't get it. People were sending me memes like,
She's just like an anti-mask, more right-wing conservative Republican kind of person, but she's working for fucking Disney. And again, she's like posting pictures of like really like kind of scantily clad kind of things. And I'm like, I don't care
what's
about
wrong with that?
I think that's great. But you're working for Disney, first off. They don't like that shit. I'm pretty sure she got told to like chill out with like the anti-mask rhetoric and like downplaying the COVID-19 stuff. And I think she made she did something that like the trans community saw as her making light of them.
Okay, that one I do know. In her Twitter bio, she did beep, boop, beep
Yeah.
for her pronouns.
Yeah, and that pissed them off. Which not my fight. Can't really tell
Sure.
people how to feel. Like I think that the thing is like the way you, especially when you're in the public eye, like you can't go about that by being super dismissive of that afterwards. But the way to go about this is like I really wasn't trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm really sorry. You know, like that wasn't my intention. Anything other than just being like, whoa, people got, you know. So she just kind of kept going, and they were like, we're dropping you.
Was there like, what was the final straw? What got, because I remember for a while people were trying to get her fired from The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it was
It
because
just
of all
wasn't-
that stuff, because she was just like unapologetic.
Was there like one thing that tipped it
I'm
over?
not particularly sure. I'm sure there must have been something. There must have been one final straw where Disney execs were like, you're fucking done. We kept trying to tell you, all you had to do was keep posting pictures of you at places and doing your thing and doing your workout regimen and being a spokesperson for the fucking mouse, which get it. It sucks, but that's what you're doing right now, and you're going to walk out the other end stupid rich. You're working for one of the biggest media companies on the planet, and like, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where, like, when you're at work, if they're like, hey, man, you know, we noticed you over at the water cooler and you were saying some pretty anti-Semitic things there, Jerry. Why don't you calm down a little bit? And your response is to send a company-wide email being like, a Jew and a Polak walk into a bar, you know, and you just keep doing it. And everyone's like, okay, you're fucking out. You're going to get fired if you keep doing this. And guess what? She got fucking fired.
Well, and the stupid thing is,
That's what happened.
Is like, in a way, she, like, that kind of, in a small way, like, proves like Ben Shapiro and her and everybody else kind of proves their point. Like, you can be canceled for having conservative politics.
Yeah,
it's like,
but it lacks the context of what conservative politics have become.
it's an oversimplification because it's like, well, you can be, if your mileage may vary with cancel culture, but I feel like it's more of you being stupid.
Yeah,
Your
a little
conservative
bit.
politics are incidental to the fact that you're just running your big fat mouth. But again, this is a woman that made her millions getting punched in the head for a living.
Well, that's what I'm
So-
saying. Like, she got an incredible career out of what she was doing. Like, she did movies that I particularly enjoy. Like, what is it? Is it Haywire? Is that
Yeah.
Haywire.
Steven Soderbergh.
I really like. But they go back and they go, we had to like have someone dub her lines over. It wasn't even Gina Carano dubbing her lines over in some scenes. They had someone come in to do her own dubbing for her because she just couldn't get this shit right. She's not a good actress. Like, she's fine at doing the action movies. I like seeing her if she was to be in like, if she had been around 10 years earlier and had gotten into like the Expendables over Ronda Rousey, or honestly, they're kind of like interchangeable, I think, in terms of ability. And I'm talking about acting ability.
I'm talking about the masturbation factor. It's,
It is pretty
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
I mean, I'm not picky, but so it's that kind of like, again, I don't know why she, like, I get it. Having your voice is one thing, but everybody in the real world who's like not elevated to that level knows that there's like, this is not actually a freedom of speech thing. And that's what that's what conservatives are making this into. It's not a freedom of speech issue. They're a private entity and they can decide to fire someone based on what they said. She could come out and go, well, isn't today all lollipops and sunshine? I had myself a big old caramel apple this morning. And they're like, Disney does not approve of caramel apples and hasn't since the 70s when some really random fucked up thing happened. And we're going to be firing Miss Gina Carano because of that. Everyone can get super pissed off and they can say what a big deal it is. But at the end of the day, the only way you can go about trying to change that opinion is by stopping support of Disney. And guess what? All the alt-right people supporting Disney, I don't like, it's not going to fucking put a dent in them. Every single one of those parents was like, this is outrageous. It's still going to buy fucking Frozen 3 when it comes out.
There's Marvel
for their
movies
8-year-old
coming
kids.
out.
Yeah.
Like, you can't afford not to. And that's the thing. Is
America
like,
has a really fucking shitty track record when it comes to being like, we'll support that one person over doing what we want to do.
yeah, come on. If that were the case, then like we'd all have Colin Kaepernick's back in a fight that
Yeah.
actually matters.
Yeah.
But like,
We have really shitty memories as Americans.
I just hate the fact that, like, in her losing her job, which was not a moral stand from Disney, it was a financial decision.
Of course, it's
'Cause
always
they
a
go,
financial decision.
All right, well, we can't have people not watch The Mandalorian, which, spoiler alert, no one was going to stop even if she stayed on the show.
She wasn't a huge part of it.
But it was like we could cut her loose and lose nothing, or keep her for no reason and potentially lose subscribers. So, whoop. They don't care about social justice. There is no social justice. There's only bumper stickers.
No, they do. Look Look at their track record with China. They don't have morals. It's
Right,
all a money
right.
thing. Yeah.
But now, because of this, people like Ben Shapiro get to sit there and be like, see, I told you this would happen. I told you 2 things. I told you that vaginas, P-words, are supposed to be Sahara dry,
yeah, it's
and
like,
conservatives are being targeted.
it's like, dude, I can't. Already, you've got a fucking 50% on your claims, and that's an F. So, like, I don't. Come on, Ben.
Please see me after class.
I feel bad for his wife.
I legitimately
feel kind of bad for his wife. I get it. They're fucking rich, so whatever. But I feel bad. I mean, and almost I don't because she's had years to kind of figure out what's going on, and she's still there. So whatever.
I quite frankly, I think she knows it was a calculated thing for him to say. Like, there is some medical condition where it's like sopping wet pussy syndrome. Like, can't go out in public without an old man slipping in your snail trail. Like, that's a legitimate.
Gross.
Wearing a skirt on a hot day.
All right. Okay. Go on.
Towing a dog sled.
Okay, we
you.
get it.
Oh,
All right. You got.
So, like, short of that legitimate medical condition, obviously a woman needs to become moist and wanting in order to inherit a fucking
the earth
pork sword. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I just think like the level of willful ignorance for a supposedly intelligent guy. He knows what he's doing. He's not dumb enough to believe that that's the truth.
Again, you go back and you listen to some of the stuff that he talks about, and it's like very, very easily refuted and dismissed. But because he's doing it in these certain ways, he's sitting there on stage having a debate with somebody who is ill-equipped to deal with him, and you've got a whole crowd of people who are split on the issue, and they're to vehemently support one side or the other.
And nobody needs it to make sense. They just need the other side to get owned. So, like, you need, like, he saw what the cultural zeitgeist was. He's like, wow, these wet-ass pussies are selling like hotcakes. Can't keep them on the shelves. So I'd better get in there and take the opposite stance and be fucking totally ridiculous. It's the same thing as, like...
Because that'll sell my T-shirts.
It'll drive traffic to my site when I say something patently fucking stupid and stand by. It's the Alex Jones model.
Well, it's that incel community, too, that's full of these, like, angry, alt-right white dudes who are like pissed off douchebags who also don't seem to understand why they can't get laid. And you're like, gee, you wonder what it is? And then you've got people out there like, no, you're justified to be angry at the world because the world doesn't make sense from our perspective. And they just fucking sit there and hammer down on everybody else and anybody who doesn't think the way that they think and talk about tolerance. Yeah. And you're like, fuck you! Dude, it drives me so crazy.
It drives me totally fucking nuts. In much the same way that, like, on the other side of the fucking coin, you have these alleged good liberals who look at the situation in Texas and are like, hey, Texas, go ahead and keep on voting for people that want to privatize the infrastructure and see what that gets you. Losers. And I'm like, well, that's a nice humanitarian take.
Yeah.
That shows tremendous sensitivity.
I was happy because, AOC brought like $2 million worth of aid there directly. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing was, I went and somebody was making a comment about it, and they were like, oh, great, look at the fucking, they're doing it for attention. They're just doing it for fucking, and I looked at him and I said, every politician is only doing shit for attention. I don't care what they're doing for attention as long as the thing they're doing is good. You've got the guy that you voted for, and he's leaving for Cancun, and someone in New York that you guys shit on all the time just brought millions of dollars in aids to your state while your fucking representatives are asleep.
Yeah.
And everyone's looking at Ted Cruz going, I don't know what he could have done. Why don't you tell him? Why don't you tell us what he could have done? I don't know. What she did.
Yeah.
How about that?
But the difference is she's a cunt.
How about anything? Well, he's being a good dad. Fuck you.
He's being a good dad. Your fucking kids are like, hey, in a pandemic, can we go to Mexico?
And let's be honest. Do you think Ted Cruz's kids woke up that morning and were like, we want to go to Cancun, Daddy. We want to go to Cancun. He's like, all right, I guess I am a really important politician with a lot to do, but let's just go. I can't let down the girls. And he just fucking picks up and goes to Cancun.
Because Ted Cruz has never disappointed a woman before.
Yeah. Well, I sat there and was like, man, I think Ted Cruz just hit a new low, blaming his running to Cancun on his family.
Unreal, dude.
It's the most amazing. And here's the thing. This is why I've got no faith in politics or people anymore, is because he did all this in plain view of God and everyone, and there's still people sitting there defending him.
What, he doesn't deserve a vacation?
Yeah, all kinds of shit. And I sat there was just like, you guys made fun of Obama once because his jacket was brown. Or his pants were brown. I can't remember what it was.
His kid smoked pot
Yeah.
when she was 18 at college, and you were like, oh, the moral fabric of society
is falling apart. Yep.
Now we have a president who treats women's vaginas and assholes like a bowling ball, or so he says.
President Bush is high right now.
Are you fucking kidding me? He's tripping on dust.
Yeah. He is fucking out of his gourd. Remember that? It was that famous one he was sitting there reading to those kids before 9/11? High as shit.
DMT.
All kinds of it.
You kids see the machine elves?
That's why he took so long to respond.
Yeah.
Fun fact, just let everybody know.
We're declaring war on fractals.
Everybody on 4chan already knows all this.
Yeah.
So we're just filling you guys in.
I mean, those of you that don't subscribe to Q's newsletter.
8kun.
I love the new thing with the Q crowd, too, where they're like, March 4th.
Oh,
That's
what is
the
this?
day.
Oh,
That's
really?
when Trump is going to get reinstalled.
What?
March 4th.
Really?
March 4th.
I can't wait. What are they going to do? What are they just going to keep? This is like the like religious doom cults where they're like, Beep Boop is going to come down and push the moon into the ground.
Parks and Rec, Zorp.
Yeah, Zorp. All hail Zorp. And then they're like, yeah, I went back and I looked at the scripture, and it's actually going to be, what was it, March 4th? It's actually going to be April 15th. No, we've got something busy on April 15th. There's going to be a lot of press doing something. Oh, April 20th?
He's got to keep moving the date to avoid the deep state.
Yeah.
They're on to him.
I think those people are, it just, like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what we did. Did we brainwash a certain part of America? Did everybody become like secret schizophrenics? Like I just want to be able to look at it and go, this is what caused this phenomenon. I'm sure it's a bunch of small little things adding up, you know?
Yeah, it's not one thing.
But it's just weird. And again, I hate to enact Godwin's law, but you look back on like Hitler and Nazi Germany and you sit there and go, you know, what causes people to gravitate towards fucking monsters?
Because in that case, that monster came through and stole money from Jewish businesses and Jewish individuals and created these like bread and circuses and like gave the people of Germany entertainment that was previously only available to the elites.
Yeah.
After years of them, you know, the little images of the kids building bricks with fucking bundles of Deutschmarks. So like he did kind of what, you know, if you believe that what Trump did was good economically, because you talk to any Republican, like, he did a lot for the economy.
You sit there and go, no, he really didn't. That's the thing that bugs the crap out of me, because you can sit there and go, well, look, it kept going up. Look at that. And you go, he literally exploded the country's deficit in a way like no other president has. And all of that happened. They're like, well, it was 2020 COVID. Like, no, before. He did it before then, and then he increased it by an absurdly like larger amount because of COVID as well. But like he created such a massive deficit. Like we already owe trillions, but he added so many more trillions onto our national debt. I don't think people realize that. Our economy, it was great.
Yeah.
Like everyone talks about like in the stock where it's like you don't want to be the bag holder, you know? You don't want to be the guy who's on the other end of the stock going, shit, I should have sold at 350 and now it's 45 and I'm fucked. And that's what like Trump basically just did that to some future president. Like it might not be Biden.
Mm-hmm.
The market might not crash in the next 4 years. You never know. Crazier shit's happened. It could hold, but one day it's going to fucking explode again. And a lot of it's going to be able to be tied back to this shit. And
But it's just easy to deny it. Like no one has to play in actual facts. It doesn't matter.
Well,
you
pick a scapegoat.
Right in front of you.
You pick a scapegoat and you go for it. It just really it bothers me because there's ways to like understand like the precedent or the context, and nobody wants to do it anymore.
It makes me miss the days when like the funniest thing about crackpots was like protests happening outside of Chick-fil-A, where you'll be like, I'm here, I'm a reporter. I'm here with an individual who's here speaking out in support of gay rights. Can you tell me why you're here today? Well, we believe that Chick-fil-A giving money to anti-LGBTQ causes is damaging. And while we understand that as private citizens, they have a right to do whatever they want with their money, like we just think that it sends a poor message to try to exclude us. We're paying customers too.
Wow,
Well,
what a crackpot.
On the other side, let's talk to Jethro, who is here to counter-protest, and he's holding two plugs. And he goes, yeah, here's the thing. And he starts smashing them together and goes, see that? That don't fucking work.
Yeah.
That's why the homos shouldn't be allowed to marry, because their dicks will smash into each other and break.
Sir, what about buttholes?
Well, now you're talking about a different thing now.
Yeah.
I could be persuaded on buttholes.
Okay.
What about 2 women? Okay, hang on now. You're winning me over.
Maybe I should have thought about this more. Yeah, well, maybe you should have.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah. I got a lot to think about.
I got to go vote for Bernie Sanders.
He just totally changes his mind on national television.
Hot lesbians, take one for the team. Change hearts and minds in this country.
What
would you?
about buttholes indeed? Back to you, Tom. Just all it took. I just, it's that kid went and had 5 children, and 3 of them were the Tokyo Roses of the trailer park, and they spread their seed far and wide.
Dude, you can see it. Like, not to be I guess it's hard to be an elitist when you don't have a fucking pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. But, like, not to be a snob, but you look at it in our hometown.
You intellectual narcissist.
I'm just a little bit better than everyone. No offense.
I lived in New York. Yes, and was driven out of the city.
I recently learned how to wipe my own ass. No big deal.
What were you going to say?
But, like, you can see it happening in this town. People we went to high school with. Like, I'll withhold some names to protect them, but I was at the supermarket the other day where someone that I graduated with, her and her fucking misbehave Howl at the Moon kids were literally throwing bags of bread onto the ground and stomping on them.
Yep.
I'm like, in a pandemic, when people have nothing to eat, you are on your phone looking up pictures of bulges or something while your fucking kids spike bags of bread on the ground and stomp them.
But, like, whose bulges? Like, was my bulge in there? My bulge is all over the internet. You just got to look. You just got to know where to look.
Divulge the bulge, Rory. Where can people find your OnlyFans?
You got to do some work. I already got plenty of followers. I don't need more.
He's in the top 1% of content creators.
Y'all are paying for my boat.
Oh, my God.
I just sneak that in and you guys watch the local paper and you look in the back. Oh, there's a bulge there. Whose bulge is that? That's my bulge.
It's just Rory at COVID briefings just bullfrogging in the background. Just doing a little bat wing here and there.
Sneaking my nuts in anywhere I can.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder if the mic picked up that part.
You're just sitting there on CNET. You're just looking. What's that? Oh, there's Rory's hanging dong.
You should become a sign language interpreter.
Just,
so when Cuomo's like, the nursing homes are not the issue, you just got
flop
your balls out the entire time. Just rest them on his shoulder.
Somebody's like, oh, I've got my nipples pierced. He's fucked.
He's fucked.
He is fucked.
He is fucked.
People already hated him beforehand, and you can argue whether what he was doing was a good job or a bad job, but apparently it was a bad job.
Well, and he's just a prick, too.
Yep.
He's just like a miserable sack of shit human being.
And now he's fucked.
Dude, DeSantis, Newsom, Abbott, and Cuomo. Launch them into the fucking sun, dude. They are responsible for like a third of the population. Florida, Texas, New York, and California. Maybe even more. I may be underselling it. But just sink these motherfuckers in the Marianas Trench.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give a fuck about what's going on.
Most politicians don't. I mean, let's be honest. Most people, like, if they did, things would potentially be on the way to getting better.
Yeah, it wouldn't suck.
Every now and then, like, I keep seeing, like, the thing that pisses me off is, like, again, waiting for the vaccine that you already have, you son of a bitch.
2 doses, motherfucker.
Is like the worst part about it. Because, like, yeah, you know, you could get it as soon as the end of the spring. The beginning of the spring, maybe. Probably not. Spring.
Yeah, and now they're like, well, it might not help against the variant. And all the variants are going to combine into a superbug.
Yeah. And then, like, but also, maybe you won't get that until the summer. Maybe the summer. Maybe the early summer. Or maybe the late summer. Also, maybe the fall. Yeah, you're going to get it in the fall. And I'm like, what the
I'm just like, can I please get my $1,400 stimulus check so I can buy a bullet and rent a gun?
Yeah.
And just avoid all of this?
I'm never going to get any of those stimulus checks.
You didn't get your $600?
No. Never showed up.
Well, the government garnish you or something?
No. They just didn't get it to the right address. And the USPS ain't so great at forwarding mail.
Yeah, no shit.
So it's just sitting somewhere, like in some undelivered mail pile that will, like, never get touched. I'll have to claim it I'll have to remember to claim it at the end of this year, next year's taxes.
Jesus Christ.
Did you get your $600 stimulus check? And I'll go, no! And I'll check that shit. Oh, well, you'll get a rebate in your taxes. You were going to owe us $2,000 just for existing, you piece of shit.
Now you only owe us $1,400. You're welcome.
How does that feel? And then they'll slap me in the face.
Yeah. The government starts sending around a dominatrix to shake people down for their back taxes.
You're being audited. Whack!
Someone was a bad unemployed boy this year and just stomps on your nuts. Baby wants to fuck.
Dude, it sucks being unemployed and owing money in taxes.
No shit.
It's a weird fucking thing. Somebody I know who did, like, one of my friends at work is like, man, I'm getting back like $3,000. I was like, really?
Fuck you.
That's great. I got fired by that company and I owe money. Really?
Dude, it's unreal to me too that you and I are living pretty much polar opposite lifestyles. You're unemployed at this point. Are you even drawing unemployment from?
No, I've stopped drawing it as of this year because I didn't want it to affect my taxes for this year.
So you are straight up unemployed with no money coming in. Yes. I work 50-hour weeks, and we're both like in bread lines, hoping that pieces of Skylab fall on us.
Yep.
What the fuck?
That's thanks, Obama. No, it sucks, dude. It's a weird like world to live in right now for me. And like everyone's like, I know most people I know didn't get let go, so thank God for that. A couple people did.
Sure.
But the people who did get let go, you're basically looking at a world where it's like every company was like, it's okay. We can let people work from home. We're just going to downsize a little bit. And me being the kind of guy who's like, every job I've ever worked in the past 10 years has been about like helping to facilitate the movement of an office. So with no offices right now, there's no work for me. So it's like, okay, I can just figure out a new career path.
Yeah.
As everyone works from home, and that's kind of where I'm at. So like I'm looking at that kind of shit going, I don't know what I'm going to do in 2021 for work.
And it's just the ocean of unhelpful advice that you run into where it's people that like I ostensibly mean well, but they're like, have you ever considered going back to school? And I'm like, that's what I should do right now. Borrow a bunch of money.
You know what I should do is I should go get myself into a college with a bunch of other irresponsible kids.
Yeah.
We're
Joe
spreading
Biden
COVID.
basically said, we're not going to do student loan forgiveness. Go fuck yourselves. I should borrow in excess of $50,000.
Yeah. So that sounds fun.
Fuck it. Load me up with a huge interest rate.
And just stick the heroin right into my neck.
Right? Yeah, for $5.
Just kill me now. Yeah. Why don't I just fucking kill myself? Yeah, no, there's that. And then again, it's you go back to the job hunt where you like start applying online and you're just this faceless resume that you send around. You don't hear from anybody. You just get the Dear John letter and the thank you for applying. We've moved on to the next stage of the hiring process, and I'm afraid your resume was not selected. Please check our website regularly to see if there are any other openings, and we will keep your resume on file and leave you as a consideration. Thank you for your time and for applying to Dick Corp. Yep. And it's every single HR across the country uses the same fucking letter, and you get them over and over, and you're like, wow, that's great.
Which is hilarious because, like, you can't reuse the same cover letter. I fucking hate writing cover letters.
Oh, dude, I just stopped doing it at a certain point. It's like, you guys aren't going to hire me anyways. I'm like, you're not going to call me.
But if you really want the job, like, I tried to get a job with
sure.
Peloton when I lived in New York.
Yeah.
And I wrote this, like, really in-depth cover letter about, like, why did I get into fitness and why am I a good fit for Peloton? And it was, like, funny, and I took 2 days to work on it. Mm-hmm. And then, like,
send me a picture of your abs.
Yeah, basically. And like a month later, they were just like, Peloton has decided to move forward in a different direction.
Yeah. Lots of those.
You just get a standard letter, and I'm like, I'm glad I put all that work into that.
Yeah, I'm just like, so I don't even know. I don't even know what to do at that point. It's, again, you get that unhelpful advice, like, from the older generation. Like, you just got to take that resume and walk down to the office and hand it in person. And I go, you can't get into offices anymore. Yeah. And like, this was advice from years ago that they gave me. We're like, you just got to go down to that office. You just got to walk right in and ask for an interview. And they go, they will ask you to leave because it's an office and they're fucking busy. They're interviewing other people who showed up for their interviews that they scheduled.
Yeah. Well, I became the mayor by handcuffing myself to the radiator at City Hall every day for 8 months.
And I never left. Yeah.
Fuck you. Well, you know, that's how The Undertaker became a wrestler. He went to fucking Fritz Von Erich's office every day for 8 months until finally they put him in a match with Brody the Bruiser.
Like, yeah, great. What, 1974? Whatever the fuck.
I'm like, oh, yes, The Undertaker's life is very applicable to mine. You're correct.
Yeah, thanks. Who are we going to compare me to next?
Yeah, I sweat and rub my ball sack in the face of other grown, smelly men.
Well, it's just such like a stupid... I hate the argument when people look at those like success stories. I'm like, yeah, they were the 0.001% who got to do this stupid thing and have it so... Johnny Depp went to L.A. one day with a guitar on his back and
Steve Jobs started Apple in his garage.
He started a bibba-dibba. And you just sit there and go, yeah, great. That's the one person. There's a reason you're telling me that story right now is because it's extraordinary.
And I get it. There is a certain amount of, if you want to do something, go do it. Like, put your best effort forth, right?
I wish I'd been born a stiller, Like, what was I going to do?
It's not a guarantee. Like, you going out and doing it is not a guarantee. I can go do my best trying to be a fucking writer.
Well, that's
and
why
people might be like, you have nothing interesting to say.
Like, if anyone asked for advice, and I was like, well, I guess you should have just been born a Kardashian.
Yeah.
I don't, like, what do you want from me? If you'd been born a Kardashian, we wouldn't have this conversation. You'd be a success right now.
Why don't you kill yourself, try again, see if you can beat Kim and Kanye's next baby.
Are you older than 30? You get that do-over still. Yeah. You get one. Everybody gets one. Wait, really? I'm going to start telling people that. I'm going to start a cult.
You should.
Yep.
But all the rules are based on gremlins. We can't eat after midnight. Or we turn evil.
Yeah. That's where all the evil in the world comes from, eating after midnight.
Just psychosis. People that are like, oh, God, I ate at 1
sows
a.m.
all the discord. But isn't eating at 6 a.m. for breakfast technically eating after midnight? Shut up, Becky, you're out.
You're asking too many questions.
Yeah. Once the sun comes up, it resets the next day. Duh.
What don't you get about that?
You bitch.
Actually, that would make a ton of sense because if you've ever been to Country Cart Deli at 2 in the morning, it is like Gremlins. It's just drunk bitches eating cheese sandwiches and punching each other.
I miss late diner food.
I miss going to restaurants.
My favorite is when you would go to them where like you knew they were open all night into the next day, but the people who were working there still looked at you like they hated you for being there.
And no matter how nice and accommodating you were, how big a tip you left, they were
super
still
nice.
like,
they were still just
you.
like, fuck off. Yeah. And you're sitting there being like, you're the one working this shift. I get it. It sucks. I'm just here because you're open.
I love it, though. I love being abused at a diner as much as I love being like catered to at a diner.
I don't think the diner is the part of that like I think you could have left that out. I just love being abused.
Well, we know that.
Yeah, see, there you go. It doesn't matter if it's a diner or not.
I can't remember if I said on my little like mini manic episodes here in our little 2-week break, but somebody got the Jodi Arias bit back to my family, and they were very concerned.
What?
They were like, what's this about Jodi Arias chopping you up into little pieces and mailing you to different places in the country?
Really? I'd be like, it's a bit.
I was like, yeah, I mean, kind of gives me a boner, but I wasn't going to tell you guys that.
It's kind of a weird conversation to have.
Who told you this? And they're like, we just heard about it.
Bullshit.
It's like, this podcast isn't popular enough for that to be the case.
Yeah, this is someone specific.
This is an inside job.
How dare you? I have a right to face my accuser.
I'm blaming either Dante or Rachel.
Yeah.
It's got to be someone in my family.
Quit being mouthy, you shits. This is Fight Club. You only tell people to listen. You don't tell people what happened here. Right?
Yeah, you don't spoil the journey.
You don't spoil it. You just sit there and go, maybe you should listen to the Skimbo Lounge. Maybe you should listen to Skimbo Lounge sometime. And they go, why? What's so funny? You look at them and you go, shut your mouth, Rebecca. I don't care what their name is. You call them Rebecca.
Yeah.
If it's a Doug or a Steve.
It's about removing individuality.
Yeah. Alan, especially Alan's.
Yeah.
And you look at them and you go, you shut your mouth.
Rebecca.
Go listen.
My poor
Anywhere fine podcasts are pervade.
My poor mom. So what's that of it? Why is that funny? And I was like, well,
I guess you had to be there.
You got a point, Mom.
Yeah.
It's not so much funny as disturbing, and you laugh as a reaction. And then my dad was like, yeah, what's this about the Jodi Arias in a bikini cutting your head off or something? And I was like, oh, boy. He goes, hey, if you ever run for Senate someday, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, there are literal QAnon lunatics running for city council
Are you kidding? Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm going to be fucking... Look who was just president. I can do anything.
I'll be fine.
I can be president of the moon in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was president this year. I used to be excited about Bush being a C student because it meant that I could do anything. Now fucking Trump has been there. All I got to do is spray paint. If I spray myself green, I'm a congressman.
There's no expectations to the end of time. Like,
No.
you will find a niche.
All you got to do is learn how to be crazy and rally that like 5% of very pissed off people, and they'll just amplify your message, whatever it happens to be. Everyone needs to start boycotting Swiss cheese because it's made by the Jews, and then everyone goes out and starts yelling. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. And then you run on a platform of hate and bigotry, and I promise you'll probably get elected at some level.
That's very true.
And I wish I was joking. I'm not. I'm not joking.
I would also love to revisit this point about Swiss cheese being a Jewish conspiracy.
I mean, wouldn't that be great? I mean, I don't care. They can do that.
You think about it. It's full of holes, so it's like you're getting less cheese for the money. Like,
why are they doing that to our cheese?
I suddenly believe this completely.
no.
Sorry, Jewish
No.
listeners. We're just poking fun.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. I always like being the bad guy, though. I always feel like I would have made a great Jew because I like being the bad guy.
Like a good stereotypical Jew,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, no, it would have just been like, I liked it when we used to do like theater and they were like, all right, Rory, you're going to be Owen Musser, the racist KKK member. I'd be like, awesome. Are people going to boo me? And I was excited about that because I like being the bad guy.
You had to literally wear Klan robes in that show.
I did. We could never get away with doing that again.
Can you imagine?
I put a knife so close to your face in that show.
You did.
Like several. I was like, all right, let's see how close I can get tonight without hurting him. They let me carry a gun on stage. I'm like, come on.
Pretty lax rules. We were also in the Mikado where we all. I think we've talked about like how racist that production of the Mikado
Gilbert
was.
and Sullivan, awful racists. Jesus Christ. Those doily cart, they were a gang, those fuckers.
The doily cart boys.
Yeah. Look out, the doily cart boys are coming.
Stay yourself, you rubes.
I am a very modern lover, modern major general, and they just fucking charge you.
Holy fuck.
We're
Yeah,
going to
there's
big powder you to
casual
death.
N-bombs all over
Yes.
Gilbert and Sullivan.
We had to get rid of all of them. I remember when we were watching, because when I auditioned for that, I had no idea that I was going to get in, really.
Get the lead,
let alone
motherfucker.
get the lead. And I just wanted to go and be in the chorus with all my buddies. I'd never watched the show. I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about Gilbert and Sullivan as a junior in high school. And when we watched the play for the first time and they started dropping the language, I was like, Jesus Christ, we're going to do this in front of our parents?
We're watching this in school right now?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
When we were watching, I just remember watching it and being like, this play kind of sucks. Like this, I don't like this at all.
It makes like no sense whatsoever, which is hilarious.
And I put in more work in that play than I think most of them, even in college. Like that play almost killed me. It was so bad.
Well, yeah, because the director basically had a gun to your head the whole time.
Well, she was just like, "Are you going to do it? Are you? Are you going to be? Are you going to do it? Because I can get someone. I can bring someone in to do the job." I was like, "I'll do it. It's fine. Okay, all right." She's now I'm going to go away for 2 weeks. When I come back, you're going to be off book. It's like, okay.
Yep. That was an early experience in gaslighting for you.
I sang the whole show before every show. I sang my whole part and I said all of my lines. I did that all through college though too. Like I would say all of my lines before I would go on. Which now in retrospect is probably a really bad idea. Like you get halfway through and you get super hoarse. Okay, now kind of come do it for real.
Time to sing beautifully.
Bow down for the noble Lord.
Which, like, it was honestly a fun show to do purely because it was so fucking stupid.
But it was also still really racist in the way we did it.
It was very racist.
I'm glad there's no video of that, to be honest. All of us in fucking powder white face and...
Holy shit, all the, like, colors and stuff on our faces.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, like, just make us use, like, chiclet buck teeth and tape our eyes back. Like, that was the one thing
everything
we didn't
but. Yeah, and you look at it and you go, our director was from a different time.
Yep. She was born 2 years before the show existed.
Yeah. Well, she has a crazy checkered past anyways.
Yeah.
It seems like they threw her out there maybe 30 years too late.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
Maybe this isn't the point to push her out. Maybe years ago when all the rumors were circulating around, maybe that was the time to, when she was allegedly banging students.
Yeah, ushering them into
in the
manhood.
80s. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, but you hear people in the community talk about it, and they're just like, I should be so lucky.
Yeah, just a senior, sheeted and grin on his face, gets into his car and listens to White Snake as he drives off.
Here I go.
I can't. Oh, well, the 80s to be alive. I would have loved to have lived through the 80s.
Well, because the guys back then were like, oh, yeah, I did a bunch of blow with my teacher, and then I banged her. Nice, dude. She hot? Yeah. And then you cut to us and be like, I think the teacher wants to bang me, but she also wears a diaper for adult incontinence. So
how do you know? You can hear it when she moves, bro.
She's not wearing wind pants, but it sure sounds like it if you close your eyes.
Like I don't know. Like you get in there and you're just like, I made a mistake.
Oh my gosh, she left a full payload in here.
Like,
Jesus Christ.
That was your first time.
You have to change her like a baby first.
No. Oh no! This got off the rails somewhere along
Trading
the way.
cocaine for talcum powder. Yeah, she'd be really hurt if she could hear us doing this, I'm sure.
Yeah, but still, she knows what she did. It wasn't okay.
Yeah, we're not judging. We're getting some entertainment value out of it.
Yeah, no, it's you. This is the roast years later.
Yeah.
Like what you did was very Rob Lowish. People are gonna talk about it. It's just
We
what
call
it
this
is.
pulling an Epstein.
Yeah, I bet you don't regret it either. So whatever.
If you got away with it, how could you?
that one got me.
Man, oh man.
My heart. Oh, my heart hurts.
Yep.
Oh. A little inside baseball there. That was good.
Yeah, no names were named.
No.
This ain't a snitch pod.
Well, I was sad to a certain point. I was like, people don't know what we're talking about. It's like,
mm-hmm.
But that's okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we're kind of coming up against it. It's not a full hour yet, but it's the first one back.
Well, and there's a bunch of bullshit at the beginning, too, probably. We got to cut out.
A short amount, because we pretty much leapt right into that Bitcoin bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that wasn't really a bit. It was just me rambling about cryptocurrency for, like, fucking... You don't need to throw that in.
It'll be like a half-hour episode if I don't.
Well, dude, I was gonna say it's like a bunch. Everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck is that?" I don't give a shit about Bitcoin. Like,
I don't know. They might get like valuable information out of it.
Yeah, I went and invested in Bitcoin, then it hit $30,000, and I lost $80,000. Piece of shit.
I mean, I retain none of it because I'm David Lynch basically, where like people start talking, I'm like, I see a small man dancing in a crowded room.
Well, I am not a financial advisor, so if anyone takes my advice and tries to sue me, I said it right there, so fuck you.
You are not liable.
I am no longer liable.
This podcast is not liable.
The Skimbo Lounge are not financial advisors.
I think for 2021, though, getting back on the cult thing would be dope.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, it's
we could start setting out rules for the cult.
I think you start with streetwear. You get people wearing Skimbo Lounge stuff like the mask that I got.
Yes.
You just like get people wearing that stuff, asking questions, and when interest has been generated, then we kind of drip in these like core tenets,
I would love to get it so that eventually we have people like working on the street for us. So like if they can get to like when politicians or normal people are like having things that like have news reporters there, they can just be like, Mr. Mayor, so-and-so from Skimbo Front, and like they just get in there and ask fake questions. What do you say to the allegations that you're secretly a tabby cat? What? Excuse me?
Pushes a saucer of milk out of the frame. I categorically deny that. We're just right about everything.
Lies and slander. Just go around harassing people. Yeah, that'd be great. And then eventually we organize them.
Yeah.
Until the feds come for our militia that we've built out in the woods. You'll never get us pigs.
Just diabetics and armorized fucking motor scooters.
Imagine the motley crew that we get together for our cult.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're going to do some wellness laps. We're going to try and get done more. We're going to shoot for one run around the compound today. It's going to be tough. We are a very, very, very lethargic group. Yeah. They thought they were coming to shoot
seismic activity in Montana.
Oh, yeah, we definitely got to move. This is the heart of America, which is what every militia group says about their particular spot in America.
Yep.
Here we are in the heart of America in Pea Creek, New Jersey. Here we are in the heart of America out in Sawbuck, Montana.
Yep.
Here we are deep in the heart of Missouri, also known as the heart of America. And you got one guy over Texas.
Texas is the fucking frozen scrotum of America right now.
I was going to say,
fucked.
Texas is that like spot in like on your happy trail where you accidentally nicked it with the razors that one time and now it doesn't grow in right anymore.
That or like it's the spot in your happy trail where all the fucking cum collects and gets stuck
gross.
in the hairs and you're like, what do we do? It's frozen.
I'd like to think that America is cleanlier than that to have that, but let's be honest.
That's not the case.
Let's be honest.
I feel terrible.
And Arkansas
I guess
is the grundle. I know it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Actually, because it's above that, but Arkansas is the grundle.
It's a clean division, Texarkana. I don't know. I guess like if you guys know of places to donate to relief in Texas, do that. We don't usually plug charitable things because we want you to donate to our Patreon first. But
yeah,
I mean it's fucked. Texas is fucked, and their leaders don't give a shit about.
Well, dude,
them.
Ted Cruz is one of his number one donors is oil.
Yeah.
So
and that's what the coal plants are what failed.
Yeah, well,
Everyone's
that's the
like,
point.
oh, it's wind energy that fucked Texas.
Like, no, it wasn't. It was not at all. If you guys had invested in more of that, you might have been okay because you would have had some reserve energy. And you're like in the pocket area for great solar.
Holy fuck, I guess so. Like,
but
well, it raises the temperature of the surrounding area.
It's already 112 degrees in Texas.
Yeah. So
I'd
fucking.
be like, you idiots! Nobody lives in the fucking desert. If you set up massive solar plants out there, you would power your fucking state.
Dude, driving through West Texas, there's nothing for miles. No one is gonna see it.
No.
Oh, the jackrabbit pop. Oh, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, there's plenty of desert out there. You just set up whatever.
So
fucking
now
whatever.
you guys care about Nature Conservancy.
I want to sit there and be like, is it going to take up where the oil plant is out there in the middle of nowhere too? Because you guys got derricks all over the fucking place. That's okay. That doesn't mar the beauty of the landscape. You really don't think that fucking oil refineries fuck up the jackrabbit population?
The rare cacti, you fuck.
Yeah. God damn it. Oh, they're not blooming this year. Fuck you.
Fucking stupid. And Ted Cruz, you fucking, what a slob.
Dude, well, that's again, we need to set up term limits or we need to set up age restrict. Like, we need to do something to keep these people. We got to end lobbying. We've got to end the ability for people to be in politics and then leave for a little while to go work high-level positions at companies making millions of dollars and then head back into politics and get high-level positions. Why is it that fucking Biden puts this guy as a Secretary of Defense and the second he does it, he sells this shit for Raytheon Technology? And Raytheon is a company that he was on the board of before he became the fucking Secretary of Defense.
Oh, how interesting.
Isn't it really weird that he moved in and did something that was selling their arms? I can't remember what fucking country it was. But he sold fucking millions, if not billions of dollars of technology or weapons, and it benefited his old company. Isn't it weird how that happens?
Oh, interesting.
So why do we keep letting people do this? Why have we not fixed that problem? Because the people who are making money aren't going to put up legislation to pull money out of their pockets,
Yeah. And why do we keep electing people like Ted Cruz, who looks like he's late for his shift at Arby's?
People are dumb. How
Ugh.
does Mitch McConnell get like a 19% approval rating and still get elected back? How does it happen?
Well, because he's the one that made money in politics an American tradition.
Well, it's just gerrymandering is what it is.
And he eliminated all the obstacles to keeping that money out of politics because the watchdog organizations, I may have even said this on the show, the watchdog organizations that he had access to, he staffed them with people who were friendly to his agenda. Yeah. So if you look the other way while we're just, moving tons of money into PACs, then it's a total shell game.
Yeah.
And
it's all about money.
Yeah.
That's all it ever comes back to. It's just really, really frustrating to watch from the outside. You sit here and you go, I get really pissed off when you get these low, I don't want to insult these people, but you get them sitting there talking about election integrity and how it wasn't beyond a shadow of a doubt that Trump lost the election and all these stuff. We need to have voter integrity. I go, okay, as we're having this conversation, Republicans in 20 different states have passed, I think it's over 140 different laws to restrict voting rights in their various states. And nobody said shit about it. And it happened this month. As you were listening to this, that happened this month. So why is it that if voter integrity matters, we weren't talking about what county was it in Texas where there was 2 million voters and one polling station? If voting integrity matters,
it might have been Houston.
It was their county.
Whatever county,
Davis County, I think. But we let shit like that happen. You guys weren't bothered about that. You talk about how that was. Oh no, that was to protect those voters, right? And yet you have Republicans making statements about how they don't want people voting because when more people vote, Republicans lose. You got one president in the past 20 years who won the popular vote. So
yeah, don't make D.C. and Puerto Rico states because we'll lose all the time.
I'd be like, it's awful what the Democrats are doing to Trump and trying to get him impeached this second time, even though he's out of office, to keep him from collecting that sweet $100,000 pension for the rest of his life and from being able to run for any positions again. But also let's forget that we tried to impeach Bill Clinton for a blowjob. Okay. So you want to talk about the integrity. I just don't fucking believe it anymore.
He was successfully impeached too, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't removed.
Right.
It wasn't, that's and again, Trump was impeached twice. He just wasn't removed. It wasn't. I don't know what the specific word is. When like the Senate, I mean, the Senate has to vote for it on 2/3, but I don't know what like you're impeached and then you're removed from your position.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called, ratified or fucking something like that.
It's funny.
I don't know.
Like we've just spent an hour putting so much psychic energy into railing against these problems that we can do nothing about.
No, nothing at all.
I'm sure the people that listen to this show are like, why don't you guys talk about like fucking a clam or something?
Yeah, well, it is really depressing, you guys. We know about all this shit too.
What about the time you sat on your balls? Like,
And one guy on there, I'm a Republican. I don't understand why you guys hate me so much. I just told you.
pick just a reason.
Pick it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. That's all.
Perpetually.
Yeah.
We exist in a state of disappointment.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever go away. It doesn't ever change.
But thank
So-
God it's 2021 because things are going to be better
This is our
this
year.
Yeah.
This is the year of the ox. That's the year of productivity and growth.
Oh no, George Clooney got super COVID.
Jesus, he's bleeding out his asshole.
Now he can't film Up in the Air too.
Oh my God.
No.
Anna Kendrick, why?
Why'd you know? No.
She was in that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking
I knew
all
you'd
quirky. Yeah, of course I know.
Oh, Anna Kendrick played a quirky, adorable girl? I don't believe you.
Yeah, what a shock.
It's like telling me Aubrey Plaza played a weird bitch.
She's strangely in her wheelhouse.
Well, I guess we'll get back to the funny shit. We'd like 2 weeks worth of demons to exercise.
Oh God,
here.
I've just been it's been a couple of days.
It's been a while.
I'll get back to. I promise next week I'll feel better because the world's gonna be so much better next week.
It's our week.
Apple pie and sunshine and rainbow.
And it is what you make it. So go out there and be the change you guys want to see in the world. I don't know. You got anything you want to plug?
Go out there, be the change. Punch a horse. Do what you.
Buy drugs.
Yeah.
Do drugs. Sell drugs. Repeat.
Break a swing set.
I guess, yeah, pretty much. That's all.
Chop down your neighbor's tree.
Chop down your neighbor.
Ah!
Well,
Stuck in the middle with you playing in the background.
I got nothing else. You got anything else you want to add, or can we just put this piggy to bed?
Yeah, that should be pretty good. We'll tune in next week when maybe we're not so cynical.
Hopefully it's a funny episode. No guarantees, you slugs.
Invest in Bitcoin. See you next week. I'm not a financial advisor.
Thank you. Go fuck yourselves, and goodbye.